Hey, welcome. My name is Martin. I'm the creator of Super Mega Space Game. Here is Game Dev Garage. I'm making Cocos Creator in this channel. If you want to see other tutorials, check links in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified for new tutorial videos. Okay, so in this video, we are going to make a magnifier glass, as you can see here, using custom shaders in Cocos Creator. New material system in Cocos Creator makes possible to play with shaders as you like and try to do fancy things like this. So let's start to see how we can make this effect in Cocos Creator. So let me remove everything to start from scratch, so we can make this thing together. And I will also maybe these scripts can stay here, we can take a look later. So here's our map. I just get from internet. I just want to put it here. Maybe we can put everything inside the canvas because it will be automatically centered in this screen and scaled based on the device screen size. So this is the world map, and it has default built into the sprite shader material on it. So we want to make shader and apply this shader to a material and apply the material to this sprite component. And what I made is a glass shader. Maybe we can remove it and create together. Maybe we can also remove this one. So first I will create a material here and name it glass material. Okay, so this is a normal regular material and has a sprite shader on it, and I will create an effect. Effect means shader, glass shader. Okay, then I will double click on it. It will open here. Let me reopen it again because maybe we can keep naming convention and keep everything in effects lowercase, and double click on it. Okay, when we create a shader, Cocos Creator makes a default sprite shader for us, so we can move from here. I will copy from other effect code, so it will be easy to maintain for me. So here in pinch effect, I want to define the position of the effect and scale size of the effect, pinch effect, and I mean the glass effect here. And we will need to pass the width and height ratio of this sprite, actually texture, and we're gonna need the position ratio. We also need a effect amount. I will call it effect ratio here, so we can adjust the effect amount later as we like. So I will add these 4 properties just before the texture. Actually, you can put these below, but I prefer them to be on top of everything because these are normal regular options for sprite, and we won't change these options, properties I mean. And we defined the properties. Now we need to get these properties into shader code. We have vertex shader here and fragment shader defined here, and we want to apply things in fragment shader because we are going to calculate things based on pixels, fragments actually. I will add things here. So normally when you trying to make a magnifier effect, you want to push pixels based on calculation to the center or from the center to outside. So I find a simple shader code here. This is shadertoy.com. You should check this website because it's very enjoying to play with shaders here, and there are a lot of shader codes ready made. So I just got a pinch effect from there and modified to use in Cocos Creator. Now let's first get our properties into code. Before the main function, here I will define a struct uniform game dev garage input, and we will get effect position as vector2, effect ratio, effect size, and width scale as float values. These will be defined in below functions, and we can use them freely. So let's go for the next step. I will just copy and paste the code here because it has a lot of fancy things going. Yeah, this is our code. It gets the effect position and adjusts the scaling and offsets and reverse actions on them, and uses the radius based on the effect size to calculate the pinch effect, and makes just a little if condition testing to just apply the effect inside the defined circle, then uses the position to get the texture pixels, then outputs the colors here. This is okay, so I will save it. The nice thing we can do is we don't have to dive into too much with too complex things. We just can get our properties from Cocos Creator and define them here as uniform, and use them in our fragment shader. Actually, these things may look too complicated, but actually it's not, because you can find many examples around internet, and you can play with little things and modifying shaders to see what affects which. Then you can learn very easily. So I will save this shader and go to Cocos Creator here. Okay, now we can choose our glass shader here, and default values came here. So I will use effect size a little bit larger, 0.45, and the 0.66 is the ratio of this image. It's not perfectly correct ratio, but it's okay to make things work, and leave everything as it is. Maybe we can use 0, 0 on effect position. So I made center position to be 0, 0, so we can sync the position with the magnifier sprite. Yes, apply please for me, and we can apply the glass material to our sprite here, and we can, yeah, we just applied it, and we can test. Okay, we should apply it again. Okay, play with numbers. Yeah, the effect size will be 0.45. So as you can see, we can play with effect ratio here, and it can get positive and negative values, and maybe positive 1.5 or 1.3 will be fine. So you can animate effect position, X and Y axis. These are enough for us. So I will show you the width scale. Normally, if we don't apply any scaling to the width, it will calculate the circle based on actually UV coordinates. UV coordinates always starts from 0 and goes until 1, so everything will be square in fragment shader. Actually it doesn't interested in the texture size, actual width and height of the texture, so we need to pass the ratio of the texture into shader to calculate it like a correct circle. Okay, 0.66 is okay for us. Okay, and we made the shader and it works well. So how we can use sprite to move this shader? It's pretty easy. I will put a magnifier glass here I got from internet, and first it's a good idea to adjust the anchor point to somewhere here, because I want to use this node's position directly into calculations, so I don't want to calculate any offsets and fancy numbers. Okay, it seems fine, so let's rotate it to keep better like this. Yeah. Okay, now let's create a magnifier control glass control script, and I will drag and drop this script to our magnifier glass sprite node. Now what we need is just editing this script to adjust this material based on the position of this node itself. I'll double click and open it, so I will clean things as I always do. I will need onload function and I will need update function. Okay. So I will take copies from the other screen because I don't want to steal your time while fighting with little typos which I make a lot. So first I want to add editor execution feature to the component because I want to see the effect in the editor when I playing the node and effects component. And I will add a sprite here to show which to link which sprite we are editing, which sprite's material we have to edit, and send data. And effect ratio will be maybe we can use 1.4 as default. This will be help us to adjust the effect ratio while we editing the editor. Then maybe if you want we can actually animate it. So normally you can animate component properties in Cocos Creator with timeline, so I will make another video about it. Okay, this is fine. So let's go to the onload function. First we need to get the material of this sprite. Normally we can get this material in update method, which will update the values of the material and shader itself, but I want to cache it here and reuse it because the get material and get components things shouldn't be used very frequent. So this is fine. And I will just calculate the texture ratio ons here, then pass to the material like this. We will calculate the height divided width for node scale. Normally the actual node size is the world map. Node size will be enough to calculate our width and height values. So this is going to be the width scale. So I will pass this width scale property to fx material, which I get from my sprite, and this is the pass number, so I just keep it default. Yeah, this will be okay. So let's go for the update method. In the update method we need to get the position of our glass node, magnifier glass node's position, and convert it to the world space, then convert it to the node space for the map node. Okay, so here is the lines. I will get 0.0 for this node, magnifier glass node, which means here 0.0 in this node, and I will convert to world space anchor relative to a variable here. Then we get the world position of this node. Actually, the magnifier glass can be in canvas or can be in any other in another node. It doesn't matter. It converts to world point, which 0 is here in world and 0 is here in canvas, for example, and converts it to world point. Okay, move forward. Then we will convert this point to our sprite node's world space. This is the world map. This is our sprite node, and we will convert it to its space, node space, because it can be scaled up and down, and we want to keep everything consistent. Maybe set to 2. Maybe we can use it like this. Okay. Then get the position. Yeah. Here we will convert the pixel values to UV coordinates. I mean, in shaders, everything will be between 0 and 1, which means the UV coordinate of the texture. And now we will here convert this position value into 0, 1 value, I mean UV coordinate value. So if we use for example 2000 in x-axis, which mean in shader 1, and here is 0, here is 1, so we need to divide the position to width, position x coordinate with width and y coordinate with height to get the UV coordinate for the shader. Then we need to apply the effect position to material. We will send the effect position value into material. One important thing is we defined effect position as array. I mean, when you define a vector 2, it will be defined as array and imported here as vector 2. And when you want to pass values, you need to use array format. So I will convert x and y positions to an array format, then send it to the material. So you cannot just send the vector 2 here. Okay, and another one, maybe if we want to adjust the effect ratio, I will add this line. So effect ratio will be able to adjust it in editor. Same logic. Okay, let's go to creator and hope it works. Let me check it in a second. Yeah, the wrong thing is we didn't link the sprite and it gives error. Actually, let's fix it here. My sprite. If not this my sprite, return. Okay, this will be keep our code safe for a while. Okay. Yeah, it stopped crying. Then let's link our sprite here. What happened? Okay. Somehow the use texture was unchecked. So I checked it, applied, and everything worked fine. Now we have glass control and link to our world map, and effect ratio adjusted 1.4. So let's move our glass. Yeah, it works. This is fine. So maybe we can adjust it like this. Maybe minus values. Oh, actually this is nice. I really like this effect. Okay, 1.5. This zoom in, this is zoom out. Oh, actually it's really nice. Okay, so this is the end for this tutorial. If you want to see other tutorials, check links in the description and link in the corner, and let me know if you like this tutorial. And if you like this tutorial, like the video and subscribe the channel to get notified in next videos. See you on next video. Bye.